are Sint Maarten. You are Sint Maarten.
The URSM, the Unified Resilient Sint Maarten Movement, being a political movement, will be hosting a weekly radio program called You Are Sint Maarten, every Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on the Radio Mix 94.7 FM. I myself, Dr. Messalina, the political leader of URSM, will be hosting this radio program in which current issues, actualities and general topics will be discussed with the people of Sint Maarten. So join us every Wednesday on Radio Mix 94.7 for our radio show You Are Sint Maarten.
You are Sint Maarten. You are Sint Maarten.
Dear people of Sint Maarten, good day. Welcome to your radio program You Are Sint Maarten on Radio Mix 94.7 FM. As you know, I myself, Dr. Messalina, will be your host in this radio program. And as you know, I'm the surgeon in Sint Maarten since 1999. And since the 10th of October 2021, I have founded the political movement URSM, the Unified Resilient Sint Maarten Movement. And as you know already, I'm the political leader with great other candidates on this URSM slate. We will contest for sure the upcoming elections that are now planned for January the 11th, 2024. That is upcoming January of next year. As you know, the URSM stands for putting the people and the country above self and believes really in educating and informing the people of Sint Maarten. The URSM also strongly believes that there should be a sound balance between economic growth and the welfare of the people of our beautiful country. We are presenting on a weekly basis a program in which current topics, community developments and issues, and general matters concerning the people of Sint Maarten are discussed. Most of the time, as you know, I have here a guest with me, and today I have the great honor to have with me in our You Are Sint Maarten radio program, Mrs. Shamira Roseburg. Shamira, welcome.
Thank you, Doc. I'm happy to be here. I'm really happy to be here. My name is indeed Shamira Roseburg, and most people know me as attorney, the attorney of Consider It Solved on Sint Maarten. But now I also became willing to become a politician. I'm an aspiring politician.
And a candidate?
Candidate, indeed, on the URSM slate.
Yeah.
On the URSM slate.
Fantastic.
So,
welcome.
Thank you,
Fantastic.
Doc. Thank you for having me here. And I'm really excited to do this with you today.
Great.
To connect with the people, connect with Sint Maarten, connect with everyone who's listening to this radio program, because it's good to know your people and for them to know me as well as a candidate.
You know, Shamira, hopefully through this radio program, we're going to go through the topic Shamira Roseburg. And
yes. I'm excited.
You're excited, and in the end, I hope that people will know you better, get more information about who this Shamira is, and at the end of the day, they will understand why I'm so enthusiastic and glad and grateful that you are a candidate on the URSM. Shamira, tell us, who is this Shamira Roseburg?
Yes, thank you, Doc. Thank you. The idea of today, I really want to connect and let the people of Sint Maarten get to know me, know who is Shamira, who's the lady behind this toga, behind being an attorney, who is she, and where does she come from. So, as I explained, my name is Shamira Roseburg. I was born in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam. Okay. Southeast, the Belmer, as a lot of people might know. And I'm currently 33 years old.
Okay.
Yes.
And your mother is from which country, Shamira?
My mother is from Aruba.
And your Aruba, and
Patricia
your father?
Fleming. Roseburg Fleming.
But Fleming is a
Yeah.
Windward Islands family name, right?
Yes, roots in Sint Maarten,
Roots
but we
in
will
Sint
come to
Maarten.
that. And my
Father?
father is from Curaçao,
Okay.
Nielsen Roseburg.
Okay. And Shamira, tell us a little. Where did you go to school? How did it start, the story of Shamira Roseburg?
So my parents left the Caribbean about 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They're currently back in Curaçao, but they left about 40 years ago. And 33 years ago, I was born in Amsterdam, and I went to school in Amsterdam in Southeast. I always knew that I wanted to do something with law. At least my parents saw that, because once there was a conflict, Shamira always had the answer.
The solution.
Yes, the solution, the answer solution to everything. And they were like, you like to argue, so you need to do something with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've decided to explain to my parents what my ambitions were, and that I have a passion for law. Growing up in the 90s in the Bijlmer, there used to be a lot of crime, And my father, who used to be a police officer, he used to explain us right from wrong. And growing up in the Bijlmer, surrounded by the crime, I was like, it's impossible that there are so many people committing crimes. Like, there need to be a solution for this. How is it possible that the crime level is so high? And I always said, you know what? These people need to have proper representation. And by explaining that to my parents and also explaining the reasoning behind that, they were like, okay, if you're saying that you believe in that, do something about it. So I said, okay, I'm going to study law and I'm going to become an attorney.
Okay. Your primary school you did in Amsterdam, and also your secondary school.
Yeah, my primary school, I went to the Open Scholengemeenschap Bijlmer, OSB. For the people that know that, that's a known school in the Bijlmer in Southeast, and Southeast of Amsterdam. And I did my my schooling there, indeed. And then after that, when I decided, okay, I'm going to study law, I always seek for the best. And in the Netherlands, you have a lot of opportunities. So I've decided, okay, what's the best university to go to study law? And that was Leiden. Leiden, the Queen went to the University of Leiden, and I was like, I want the best for myself, so I'm going to the best university. And I went to Leiden to study law.
You went to Leiden?
Yeah, University
I know
of
Leiden
Leiden.
good, because my sister studied law in Leiden
It's
too.
the best, it's
you
the
have
best.
the Haarlemmerstraat and the Breestraat.
Indeed,
I used
indeed,
to visit
indeed.
her
Yeah.
once she was when she was studying law.
Yeah.
My sister did international law while I was studying in Maastricht in the south. But sometimes in the weekends, we didn't have so much to do. And then I would take a train and visit her.
Indeed.
And that's why I know Leiden too. And so, as they call it, a student city.
Indeed, it's known for being a student city.
Yeah.
But I used to live at home, because a lot of times the students would go and live on their own, like in kamers, they say.
Their
own room. And then they would,
And in the weekend they would go home.
they would go home.
With
But
their dirty clothes.
indeed.
Just for the mom to wash for them.
But
So
I
then
used to
they're
live
ready.
at home still.
Okay.
So I would take the train.
Every day?
Every day. At that time, we used to live in Hoofddorp.
Okay.
So I used to take the train and then go to Leiden and come back home for 4 years.
Okay. And you did it completely?
Yeah, for
going-
4 years, yes.
Staying by your parents' house, and
Indeed.
from there move to the
Indeed,
university,
indeed.
do your thing, and go back home.
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
But then, when it was time for my master's, I was like, I want to have that student life. I want to experience that student life. So I spoke to my parents, and I was like, I really want to experience that. My dad was like, no, but I can buy you a car, then you can just
Yeah,
drive
go
up and
up,
down.
yeah.
I think he was scared to let me go, but I was like, no, I really need to experience this. And my siblings were like, Dad, it's time to let her go. You gave her the right from wrong. She knows what to do. So give her that chance. And
And your
indeed,
master, you went and you...
Erasmus. I did that in Rotterdam.
In Rotterdam?
Yes, I got into not the regular master, but the toga master. That's
Okay.
a master that is specialized for the different toga professions. A toga profession is if you know that you want to become a lawyer or a judge or a prosecutor, it will guide you towards those professions. And I already knew that I wanted to be an attorney, so I decided to apply for that master, and I got in. 25 students get in, so I was really happy that I got the opportunity to participate in that master.
Shamira,
Yes.
how long is the bachelor and how long is the master's for this law education?
The bachelor's is 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 years. And the master is 1 year.
1 year. So in
Yes.
total, your education was 5 years
Yes,
for you to
5
be where you
years.
are today.
Indeed.
Oh, wow,
indeed.
it's a great
Indeed. But
investment.
I did decided to study in the States. There was an opportunity as well.
After your
no,
studies?
during the
During?
bachelor. So during the time that I was studying in
Leiden?
in Leiden, indeed, you had the opportunity to do part of your bachelor in the States abroad, and I chose to study in Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah, so the Yukon
And
Law
how long
School.
you were there in Connecticut?
For 6 months. 6
6
months. Yeah,
months.
6 months.
Okay.
I
You saw the other side
Yes.
of how you can apply the law. to-
Indeed,
Okay.
indeed.
In the American style. Very good.
Yeah.
And when you finish your master's, Shamira, you said, okay, Shamira's ready. And then what steps did you take in that time? You started working in the Netherlands or you came back to the Caribbean?
Yes, because now I'm doubting a bit if it was 3-year bachelor, 1-year master, or it was 4-year bachelor and 1-year master. I'm a little because it's a while back, but it was 4 to 5 years,
Okay.
including bachelor and master.
Together.
Yes, and afterwards, during my bachelor and master, I used to work as well because I always believe like, okay, you can study, but how is it in the working field, you know? So I started to work in Holland when I was 12, if I'm being honest, 12, 13, at a law firm assisting the attorney with cleaning the archive, you know, going through files and cleaning it up. It was really boring, but, you know, you used
have
to
to
get that
something.
experience.
Yes.
So that's where I started. And then afterwards, I got the opportunity to work as a summer job by attorney in Amsterdam, Roethoff Advocaten, a known attorney in the Netherlands. So he gave me that opportunity to work by him and gain that legal experience. I did that for, I think, 2 to 3 years, and then afterwards, you know, the further you came in your study, you got the opportunity to do other things and gain more legal experience. But after graduating and doing my master, my toga master, I got the chance to work at the courthouse, the court system basically in Rotterdam, because you have different court departments. You have Rotterdam, Amsterdam. You have because Holland is so big. So Rotterdam offered me a job as a clerk, so I could participate and assist the judges in court cases. So that was was a
And
nice
how long
experience.
did you do that?
I did that during my studies for about 2 years, and then after my studies, a year.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have a few years that you had some
Yes.
experience building up.
Yes.
And then you decided to come to the Caribbean.
No, not so fast. Not so fast.
Okay.
Because seeing that law was always my thing, is still my thing. I was like, okay, you know what? You have the option to become a judge. When I was younger, with the Future Frames project, projecting like, okay, how do you see your future? I said, you know what? I want to be the youngest Black judge in the Netherlands. That's what I said. You know, I was young. It was going well. I was like, you know what? I see options. But then I was like, okay, what about being a prosecutor and also looking at the Caribbean? I got the opportunity to work by the prosecutor office in Aruba. So I was there for like about 6 months during my studies. That was also a nice experience. So once I was done, I was like, okay, the only field that is missing is attorney, you know,
Yep.
being an attorney. So after being able to see the 3 fields, so judge, working at the courthouse in Rotterdam, prosecutor working in Aruba, and then also working for a law firm, I was like, okay, what's the next step? What's the next step? So while working in the Netherlands, I was like, a lot of times you also where I grew up in the Belmer, you see that your own people need help, need guidance, but the guidance and the connection is not always there because they can't relate to the people that are assisting them. So that being said, I was having a discussion with my parents and I was like, you all live here for about 30 to 40 years. When are you all planning to go back? I have been to Curacao, Aruba, Sint Maarten, for several times during vacations, My grandmother, as explained, is from Sint Maarten. My family members on my mother's side, I have my roots here. So I was like, when are you guys going back? And they were like, we're getting older and we want to go back. And I was like, I think that the best thing for me to do at this moment is to apply for a job in the Caribbean because that's where my roots lay, and that's where I want to bring a change. That's where I want my people to have the proper representation. So I decided to apply for a job.
In Sint Maarten?
No, I sent letters to Sint Maarten. I sent letters to Aruba and also to Curacao. And back in the days, I was following, and I still follow and admire him. I was following a known criminal attorney by the name of Pepe Suvaran. And I was very much inspired by him. I saw a lot of things that I could learn from him. So I applied to a job by his firm. But he didn't answer me. So I was like, you know what? I told my parents, I'm leaving to Curacao. I don't have a job as yet, but I'm going to Pepe. And they were like, Shamira, how do you mean? I was like, yes, I have nothing to lose. I'm going to Pepe and I'm going to get the job. And that being said, I went to Curacao. I called him and he was like, okay, you can come to my office. I went to his office and I told him, like, I want to work for you. I heard a lot about you and I want you to teach me on becoming the best criminal defense attorney. And he liked what he saw. So he was like, you're hired. We're doing this. And I can even remember because my parents always were saying, like, Shamira, you can go, but you need to have some kind of security. And there was a other law firm that hired me. But I wasn't really connected to that law firm. I wanted to work for Pepe. So when he told me that I had a job, I was like, yes, but I signed by another law firm. He's like, okay, I don't know how you're going to fix that, but you're working for me and I'm expecting you on Monday. Okay. So that was funny. That was funny. And the rest is history.
Yes, and then from Pepe you started getting connection with Sint Maarten.
Indeed, because Pepe had also had a firm on Sint Maarten. And he was like, you know what, Shamira, I want you, that was in 2015, I want you to go to Sint Maarten and I want you to connect and see if you can see yourself living here. And I was like, of course I will be able to see myself living in Sint Maarten because back then I was in Curacao. Because my roots lay here. My grandmother is from Sint Maarten. I have family on the French side, Dutch side. I'm related to the Richardsons, the Fleming. I know Sint Maarten, So let me go and let me see how this can work. And it worked.
And before you know, you're completely integrated in this community of Sint Maarten.
Yeah, because once it's home, eh?
Exactly. And that's the feeling you have.
Indeed. And that's fantastic. The feeling I have. And that's also what it is. Like, a lot of people might say, like, but you're from Curacao or you're from Holland. No, I'm from here. Yep. And what makes me from here is because my family is from here. I feel connected to Sint Maarten. I am part of Sint Maarten. And this is my place.
Fantastic.
Yes.
But it's a good feeling, by the way. If you have that feeling, you have a good feeling when you wake up in the morning and really feel that this Sint Maarten is your home. Yeah. I think that is something great to experience. We are running out of time in the first half of our radio program. We are going to take a small break, and in the second half of our radio program, we are going to, at the end of the day, of course, have the discussion what inspired Shamira actually to take the next step, to step up the plate and start being a candidate for the upcoming elections in the political arena of Sint Maarten. We will be back in a few minutes, and we will continue with an interesting discussion with Mrs. Lawyer Attorney, Mrs. Shamira Roseburg.
Yes. See you in the next half.
Dear people of Sint Maarten, welcome to the second half of our radio program You Are Sint Maarten on Radio Mix 94.7 FM. As you know, we have with us today in our radio program Mrs. Shamira Roseburg. Shamira Roseburg is a very known citizen in country Sint Maarten, but also a very renombrated and known attorney here in our society.
Yes.
Shamira, we spoke about what you have done on educational level in the first half of our radio program.
Indeed.
And now you're sitting here actually because you decided that there is more in this Shamira, and you decided I'm going to step up the plate and I'm going to join the political arena of Sint Maarten. Shamira, explain me what inspired you to take that very important step in your life.
Blessed day, Sint Maarten, once again. Thank you, Doc, for the introduction. Working on Sint Maarten for the past decade made me aware where the pain of the people lies. People know me as the lawyer. People know me as a criminal defense attorney. And by being that lawyer and criminal defense attorney, on a daily basis, you're dealing with different people. Different people with different issues. And when you're seeing someone in front of you for the fifth time, and you're asking them like, what's going on? I thought you told me that I won't see you again. And then you hear the story. Boy, Miss Roseburg, I know, but I needed to survive. Oh boy, Miss Roseburg, I know I told you that. I know I disappointed you, but I didn't see no other option. And I can continue.
Actually,
different
very
stories.
sad, right?
It's really sad because once you're not in that position, you can say, oh, yeah, I'm not robbing, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. But once you enter that system, right, like for a regular human being to get the job, it's already difficult. But once you're in that system and you get that stamp of being a convicted criminal, to find a job is even worse. So by seeing that and seeing what's currently happening on our island, seeing the current parliament operating, I'm like, I have written different articles. If you Google my name and you type in my name, you see Ms. Roseburg fighting for this, Ms. Roseburg fighting for that. Ms. Roseburg doesn't agree with this, Ms. Roseburg doesn't agree with that. But what kind of change did that bring from the outside? Yes, I have the different lawmakers and the different ministries watching me and seeing my articles and contacting me like, okay, how can we do it better, etc., etc. But what is really changing? And I haven't seen a lot changing while I'm on the outside. So I have decided enough is enough. Enough is enough. I am complaining about what's going wrong, but why not enter and contribute to making sure that the island flows better? We all stating we want change. We want people in the right positions doing the right things. But when there is nobody that is qualified, that is putting themselves in that position, how can we choose change? So I have decided to take that next step to make sure that the island has the opportunity to choose for change. And then we will really see if Sint Maarten wants change. Because saying that we want change and not choosing for change, or saying we want change and don't have no change to choose out of, that are two different things. So that's why I have decided to run with the URSM, a new party, under your leadership, to provide the people of Sint Maarten with change, to provide the people of Sint Maarten with an alternative solution, with people who put country above self, and who are there on behalf of the people of Sint Maarten. And that's the person that I am. I am in this because I want to see the change, and I can contribute to that change in Parliament as a lawmaker because of the legal background that I have.
I really believe it's a great gain for the society of Sint Maarten, and of course for our URSM, Unified Resilient Sint Maarten movement, to have actually a candidate, a person like you with this legal background, because we see very often in Parliament that is actually it is the place where the laws are designed and presented to be approved. It's the legislation actually that counts, that manages a country. And I think it's great, Shamira, that you have actually taken the decision actually to postulate yourself for the people to have the option when they are choosing persons to represent them. And what more can you expect to have a legal mind, a attorney to represent you in Parliament that understands the law, that understands the dynamics, that understands the soul of the law, and really feels also what are the necessities in amendments in laws that has to take place to make this island flow better. I think that is a great thing for country Sint Maarten, that we have now a lawyer on board with, in this case, our political party, the URSM, to actually give the people the opportunity to vote for a lawyer, for an attorney that is going to really actually keep herself busy with what she studied for. That's her background, and I think that is great, because you're going to feel yourself very, very comfortable, I can assure you that one, in Parliament, because that's the house of the laws. That is where it starts.
And that's where you can make the change as well. And I think it's important that we also inform our people, like, what are we voting for? What is this election about? And what is the importance of selecting the correct person? It's serious.
This is something very serious. At elections, people think it's a circus and a popularity contest. I can tell you, especially now that the situation that our country is in, this is no circus, no popularity contest. It's really about accepting the mandate of the crying people outside there and make sure that we can bring tangible changes to improve the livelihood of the people of the country. And people are realizing now, Mrs. Roseburg, that this is the momentum for a big change for country Sint Maarten. We have seen since 10-10-10 until now not so many significant tangible changes for our country. We see that we are going backward on the level of healthcare, on the level of education, on the level of justice. So on all fronts we are failing with our country, and I do believe it's time for a radical change in our country to see how we can improve all the important facets
and
in our
that's why
community.
It's important to have the professionals that have the know-how of those different fields. Justice, I dream justice. That's what I'm busy with on a daily basis.
Your work, yes.
Healthcare, you know everything about healthcare. So we cannot continue in the way how we're busy right now. We need to have the correct people in the correct places with the correct background. The time is now. And then on the other hand, we do have to understand our people. You know, if someone is struggling, it's very hard for them to say no to someone who's offering them something to make it better for them. But we need to educate our people and explain them like, hey, you know, we understand the struggle, but short-term solutions will make sure that we will find ourselves in a worse position in 4 year time. So let's come to a solution to make sure that you will be able to take care of yourself and that you know your worth and you know how important it is to have a voice for you in Parliament that will be able to fight for you, that will be able to really change your position, and that you can also connect with after they enter Parliament. Because as an attorney, I am accessible. As a parliamentarian, I will be accessible as
Must
well.
be,
Because
yes.
we have to remember, we are the voice of the community.
Yeah, representatives.
I am your voice. I am there to represent you.
Yes, of course. Shamira, if you
Yes.
ask me as a doctor, if I get the opportunity to get in government, what would I, for example, try to realize on level of healthcare for the people of Sint Maarten? I will tell you honest, for example, without criticizing anybody, I will try for sure to get the construction of this National General Hospital on the rails again for us to, at the end of the day, see that there is progress in the construction of this hospital, because at the end of the day, my dream is, of course, to have a great state-of-the-art hospital to serve the people of my country. And the way I'm working, I'm just a surgeon. I'm not in management team. I have no decision
just a
power. I'm
surgeon.
just a surgeon.
I
No,
like
that
how
is
you
how
say
it is.
that.
So I have to just go with the flow. And now, of course, I'm aspiring to get the mandate of the people, because I really think it's time now to make it happen, to realize, for example, the new general hospital for country Sint Maarten for my people. If I ask you the same question now as a professional in the legal establishment of Sint Maarten, is there something very deep in your heart that you think, wow, I would really want to see it, without criticizing anybody, just for you to say, I will dream to live in a community that I can think that would be better if I can prove some aspects in the justice area of this country? What would you like to tackle, for example, in the nearby future?
You know, there are different things in justice. Once you look at justice, justice is very broad.
Yes.
But I would like us to look at, one, how important justice is. You cannot be saving on justice. You cannot have a justice system that is not operating how it should operate. And seeing that at this moment, for example, when I look at justice, a lot of things are not in place. If you look, for example, as a justice worker, they're not happy. What does that mean for our safety? That's one thing. When we look at the current facilities on our island, from mental health facility to turning point facility to the prison, to the structure in the prison and in the juvenile prison. Those are current points that are high on my agenda. And I also believe that we need to look at it broader than Sint Maarten. Maybe a lot of people will not agree with me, but we are part of a Dutch kingdom. And in the laws of the Dutch kingdom, there are certain responsibilities that we have as a kingdom. Until we're not part of that kingdom anymore, we need to make sure that we utilize those laws. But you need to know what is in those laws to be able to tackle those laws. And we need to be able to sit around the table with all the partners of the kingdom and make sure that this justice level becomes equal. Because
Very
it's
good.
impossible that the current justice system in our country, Sint Maarten, is the way how it is.
Yes.
But for
being
us,
part of the kingdom.
indeed, being part of the kingdom.
Yeah. Shabira, I'm very happy that you're
Yes.
touch basing
Yeah.
on this specific topic.
Yeah.
I see the same in healthcare.
Yeah.
We are fighting every day with each other in this kingdom. And I'm also, like you, seeing that there is more to get out of this kingdom to improve the livelihood of the people of Sint Maarten. The fact that we touch base, and
Yeah.
you said it
Yeah.
too, we are using the term the kingdom,
The kingdom,
of the
indeed.
Netherlands. That
Yes.
does not mean I'm pro the Dutch and against my people. No.
No.
I'm for my people, and because I'm for my people, I'm going to look in the organization of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, how many benefits can I get out of this establishment to serve the people of my country?
Indeed. And to add to that, I'm your voice and representation in Sint Maarten, but as well your voice in the kingdom.
Yeah.
And that's what our people need to realize, that we will be your voice in the kingdom. We will make sure that the current situations that are not in place will become in place.
Exactly.
But you need to be able to communicate with each other. We need this, you need that. How will we come to a solution as equal partners?
Equal partners.
But you need to be able to have the dialogue.
Of course. And we have been failing
Yes,
in our dialogue in the kingdom.
I agree.
And there are too many emotions, and the URSM is not about emotions. The URSM is for the people of Sint Maarten,
Indeed.
and the URSM wants to use professionals with less emotions,
Yeah.
to the point, using the law, the charter, the
Indeed.
constitution to make sure that our people get what they have right to get in
And
the kingdom.
for the ones that don't even know, the current justice situation, it is a kingdom affair. It is a kingdom affair because once justice is not in place, how can your country function? And that's why I also have taken it on my own without going in too much details. But if you follow me, you will see in the future, I don't talk to talk. I talk to come to a solution. And I have had contact with different politicians in the Netherlands to see how can we come to this solution? How can we make sure that the island runs how it needs to run so that it will be beneficial for country Sint Maarten, but also for the Dutch kingdom?
Exactly. So I think there is a lot more to get to achieve for
Yes.
the people of Sint Maarten if we understand our laws, we understand our constitution, and we understand the charter of the kingdom.
Indeed. And we
instead-
inform our people.
and inform
Keep
our
them
people.
informed and know their rights.
Yes, and know their rights. And
Know
you know,
their rights.
everything we do from the URSM,
Yeah.
realizing that we are a part of the kingdom. It's not about fighting against the other parties in the kingdom. It's about making sure that my people get exactly what they have right to
Yeah.
in the kingdom of the Netherlands. And that's the same, Shamira, if you speak about the justice system.
Indeed.
I have it for the healthcare too.
Yeah.
If the Netherlands thinks that this is the level of care that they want to give to the people in the Netherlands, and I'm part of the kingdom with the same rights, with the same passport, I
Equal.
want also that
Equality.
same
Yeah.
level of
Indeed.
healthcare for the people of Sint Maarten, and the same for all the organizations in the Justice
Yes.
Department for country Sint Maarten. Shamira, I know you actually as a very strong woman, powerful woman that actually I know you because you have been coming up a lot for the injustice in the detention center of country Sint Maarten.
Indeed.
Not because we are criticizing those working in the detention center or in the Ministry of Justice.
No.
We are doing it with the intention to improve. And you have been very, very sensitive to developments that could touch on the basic human rights of people.
Yes, indeed.
And also, of course, those in prison, because they remain human beings with a good soul and they are God
Indeed,
creations.
indeed.
And that is how I know you.
Correct.
What's your passion for that you are so remarkable in that?
You know, because growing up in Amsterdam, I go back to my roots, I have been surrounded by different people in the society. And when you don't get that fair chance from the beginning, from the start, it's likely to go wrong. And it starts by the root. When you have that proper background, proper assistance, guidance in school, it's likely to go well. But when you don't have that and you fall into criminal justice system, you hope that when you fall into that, it becomes better once you're in it and you get the proper guidance. It is impossible, Sint Maarten, that you have a juvenile center where there is no structured daily program. Impossible. Because next to punishment in a juvenile prison, it's important to get education, to get the tools to know next time I'm saying no to my boys. Next time I'm walking in the other direction. But because there's no structure and there's no program, they're not learning anything. So how do we expect those youngsters between the age of 12 and 21 years to do better when they're not getting those tools? And then the risk is for them to fall into the system again. But then they're older. They're older, and then they go to Point Blanche prison, and there is no structure in Point Blanche. Back in the days, I'm talking about 5-6 years ago, I can remember that there was carpentry class, music class, sewing class, all kind of different classes. You could follow your GAD, but that's not happening at this moment.
It's just locking them up and
agriculture. I'm currently talking to a gentleman who is the agriculture master on the island, Mr. Wyatt. He knows about it. Why don't we have agriculture in our prison, in the juvenile prison, and in Point Blanche? That will make sure that eventually they will learn a tool, they will learn a craft, and they will be better in society. So why am I fighting and doing what I need to do for the inmates? Is because they need to come out. They need to come out better. We don't want them to fall back in the same system. So if we can make sure that there is rehabilitation, that there are rehabilitation programs in place, that they know right from wrong, that eventually, once they come back in the society, they have a job, they can provide for their family, so they won't have no thought of even committing a crime. But the community doesn't always sees it like that, because they're like, hey, you do the crime, you need to do the time. But remember, people, you want eventually the person to come out better, and you want them to be incarcerated under the correct human circumstances, the same that the other islands in the Dutch kingdom have. We are equal, right?
I think, and I know that we are equal, but I think the politicians nowadays do not realize that there are a lot of benefits that we can get out of this kingdom establishment that we are in.
Because you need to know the law. You need to know
the laws.
You need to know your position.
You know, one of the weakest points we have, and I'm continue saying it, is that what has been standing in our way for us to get through it as our country is that many times we see that not the right person is sitting in the right chair to take the right decision for the people. You know, it's painful to say, but it's a reality, and the URSM is
and also scared to take certain decisions, you know, because you need to take risks.
You have to
be
take
able
risks.
to
And
take
you know,
risk.
Shamira, you know that too. I say it to the candidates when we have our meetings too. Once we get a mandate, we are going to be part of the upcoming new government of Country Sint Maarten.
Ready to work for the people.
Yes. And you know, dare to take political responsibility too by decisions that are sometimes difficult decisions to take. But as we said, if you have no guts, you will not have glory. So no guts, no glory mean that we have to have guts to have glory. And that is what the URSM is going for. And we will realize sometimes we will take decisions that we thought would work out different, but that is, we are humans. But all decisions that we take, the ultimate intention is for us to better our country.
Yeah.
Shamira, time is flying. We had an interesting discussion.
Indeed,
the conclusion that I have is when I listened to you in this interview that you are a very, very passionate woman, and especially when it comes to your profession.
Indeed.
I want you to actually promise us that you are going to remain passionate once you get a mandate of the people.
Because
we have a lot of high expectation of you in the upcoming elections, and hopefully you will really, really continue doing what is good for the people of this country. Before I close, Shamira, I would like to give you the floor.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you. For the people that know me, what you see is what you get. I fight for my people, I fight for my clients, and I will be fighting for my people in Parliament once elected. The time is now, Sint Maarten. We cannot hesitate any longer. We need to take a stand. We need to be focused. If we really want to see that change, you need to make that change. And we are the change. I am your change. And that's why I believe the time is now for us to raise the bar and to make that change for a better Sint Maarten. Better Sint Maarten for you, a better Sint Maarten for me, but most important, a better Sint Maarten for our children. Let's do this together. That's what I would like to say. Plus, make sure that if you want to stay in contact with me, to follow me on social media. I am available, approachable. I have my free legal tour upcoming October 15th in the St. Peter's Community Center. My social media, Instagram is I am Shamira Roseburg. Facebook as well, I am Shamira Roseburg. So let's connect. I'm your advocate for real change. And as I said, the time is now. Let's raise the bar, Sint Maarten. You ready, Doc?
Fantastic. Shamira, As you said in conclusion, if you want to change tomorrow, you have to change today.
Indeed.
And URSM
Let's do this
is
together.
giving you the opportunity to change today so tomorrow can be better for all of us.
Yes.
Shamira, I would like to thank you for
you,
your time
thank
that you
you.
took out to be with us in this
Yes.
radio program, You Are Sint Maarten.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, for you also the same, I would like to thank all of you for taking your time out to listen to our radio program, You Are Sint Maarten.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to have you back next week Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on our radio program, You Are Sint Maarten. I wish you a pleasant evening. Good night.